This is Jed Distler, and welcome to The Piano Maven, your friendly podcast guide to piano recordings. You can subscribe to The Piano Maven through my Substack page, and I've included a link to that in my episode description. Paid subscribers get free downloads at the start of each month, and we'll be scheduling some more Zoom meetings for the summer. So do consider a paid subscription to keep this podcast in production. One bit of housekeeping I want to bring up. Several listeners asked if I could include sound samples in my podcast episodes. Originally, I was reluctant to do so because of copyright problems or potential copyright infringement issues. But I decided that I would put a few very, very brief sound samples in my recent Mendelssohn Songs Without Words episode. But what happened was, when I pressed the button on my RSS hosting platform that sends episodes to YouTube, YouTube would not accept that episode. So then I tried to upload the episode directly onto YouTube, and I was able to do that, but what happened was I got a notice saying that YouTube was aware that I was using copyrighted material, and that could potentially be a problem, even though I just used a matter of seconds from several recordings. So I thought, just bag it. I'm going to delete the episode from YouTube, which I did, and then I re-edited the Mendelssohn episode so that it would not have any music this time. And then YouTube accepted it without any problem. So at this moment, unfortunately, sound samples are not going to be an option, but you know that I always include links to hear or to stream or to download or to purchase the recordings I'm talking about, and you can find these links in my episode description. And this way you can explore the recordings that I mention as you see fit on your own time and whenever you'd like. So on to this week's topic. Back in our first season, I presented an episode where I discussed a whole bunch of Scarlatti recitals by various pianists, and I thought maybe I could do some episodes where I would discuss one particular Scarlatti release on each episode. So here's one Scarlatti disc that probably has not crossed your Scarlatti radar, or maybe you have heard it. But this is a disc I hadn't thought about in a while, but I recently took it down from my shelf and I listened again, and I really enjoyed it. It's a Scarlatti recital by the Brazilian pianist Sonia Rubinsky. It originally came out on the Algol Editora label with a catalog number AA0002,000, if you want that information. It came out in 2006, but 10 years later, it was picked up by Arabesque, and you can easily find the Arabesque release as a digital download or through streaming platforms. It's a beautifully recorded disc. The sonics are warm and resonant, and Sonia Rubinsky, as a Scarlatti player, is very suave, and her tone is gorgeously rounded. Her dynamics are not extreme, but within her dynamic sphere, there are so many levels of shading and nuance. There are 16 sonatas on this disc. She plays that famous E major Kirkpatrick number 80, do-do-do-do, boom, 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 boom. Forgive my singing. This is one that Dinu Lipati recorded, and Vladimir Horowitz recorded this on several occasions. And Sonia Rubinsky has marvelous articulation, and her trills are as smooth as Chivas Regal. And the F minor Kirkpatrick number 69 sonata is really beautifully played. It has lyrical, introspective lines that are seamlessly illuminated, yet the phrases just move beautifully over the bar lines. And you can say the same about that famous B minor Kirkpatrick number 87 sonata. That was another Horowitz specialty. And Sonia Rubinsky just brings such a subtle voicing to this piece. And another piece that one associates with Horowitz, the F minor Kirkpatrick number 481, has a real crystal-like delicacy in Sonia Rubinsky's hands. You're almost afraid that the crystal's going to break, but it doesn't. And she takes the C major sonata Kirkpatrick number 513 at a very measured yet quite lilting tempo, while the other C major sonata, the Kirkpatrick number 225 she plays, gets a crisp but gentle reading. Let's say that it is comfortably up-tempo. Now, you don't get the bustling, red-blooded, hot-tempered, and edgy Scarlatti that you hear from other pianists, but when Sonia Rubinsky seduces you with her tone and makes such a compelling case for her intimately scaled Scarlatti interpretations on such a world-class level, there really isn't any reason to complain. So, in short, this is quite an enchanting disc, and I enjoyed reacquainting myself with it. Sonia Rubinsky playing 16 Scarlatti sonatas, available from Arabesque. This is Jed Disler, and you've been listening to The Piano Maven, your friendly podcast guide to piano recordings. I look forward to being with you next time.